Next, we're going to see how to receive a customer payment. After sending a customer an invoice, you should expect to receive payment based on the agreed upon payment terms. In general, best practice is to set payment terms of net 30. Net 30 means that payment is due within 30 days of the invoice date. QuickBooks Online will remind you when an invoice has reached its due date so that you can follow up with your customer to get paid. In addition, you can also send a payment reminder to your customer before or after the due date. We're going to navigate to our account and settings. We want to go up to our gear icon, the one in the top right-hand corner of the screen, not the one in the middle of the screen. This is the settings for just the guest list. So we want to go up to the top right corner, and under the company section, we're going to select account and settings. And from our account and settings menu, we want to select sales from the left navigation bar. If you get a message, switch sections without saving, just click OK. So this brings us to our sales settings. And currently the preferred invoice terms, which are listed at the top here, are due on receipt. This is acceptable because Larry's customers are expected to pay in full either prior to their stay or upon their departure. However, if you wanted to update the payment terms, you would click on the pencil to the far right here. This is your edit button, and select the payment terms from your drop down. We do not want to change our payment terms again, but if you wanted to, this is where that would be done. And next is how to set up automatic invoice reminders. Still on our sales tab, we want to scroll down to the reminders section, which is listed here. Currently, automatic invoice reminders is turned off. This is okay because, as mentioned previously, Larry's customers pay for services right away. Therefore, reminders are not necessary. However, if you wanted to turn reminders on, you would click the pencil to the right and select on from the drop down. We do not want to turn this feature on. We're going to click done from our bottom right hand corner. And now we're going to receive a payment from a customer. When you receive a payment from a customer, you want to make sure that it is entered correctly. If you created an invoice for the customer, you need to apply the payment to that specific open invoice. If you did not create an invoice for the customer, then you could simply record a sales receipt to post the payment. So we're going to follow the steps outlined in the recording a sales receipt section to do this. We're going to go to our new button in the top left-hand corner. So we have our plus new. We're going to click on that. And from our menu, we want to select receive payment. Our receive payment window opens, and from our guest drop down, we want to select George Jetson. Remember, we have an open invoice for George Jetson. He still owes us $2,000 from that original $4,000 invoice. But remember, he paid $2,000 deposit. Again, so he's left with $2,000 owed. And notice the details of the open invoice appear in the middle of the screen. So we have invoice number 1002 listed here. All right, our payment method is going to be check. Reference number is 1234. And our amount received is going to be $2,000. So we can put that right up top here. QuickBooks will automatically put a check mark next to the invoice listed here, and it will populate the payment field, which is here. So that's going to match the amount received. When the payment is recorded in QuickBooks, the journal entry of a debit to business checking account is going to be recorded, and accounts receivable is going to be decreased with a credit of $2,000 because he will no longer owe our company any more money. So we're going to save and close to record our customer payment. You can see received payment $2,000 saved. And it returns us to our sales center or guest list. And you can now see that the open balance for George Jetson is now $0. So find George Jetson in our list. He's been updated to owe $0 now. And you can see that $5,000 recently paid has been increased by that $2,000 that we just received. So we have a total of $7,000 that has been paid to us. All right, the bottom of page 822, we have class and location tracking. Class and location tracking allows you to further categorize your data for reporting purposes. Class tracking is generally used to track business segments, departments, or product lines. Location tracking is used to track multiple offices or properties. Location tracking is ideal for Larry's business so he can compare the profitability of his Texas properties versus his California properties. In order to use class and location tracking, these features must be turned on. So to verify that your class and location tracking is turned on, you're going to go up to the gear icon for account and settings and select that from under your company. We want to navigate to the Advanced tab on the left. Switch sections without saving. You can click OK. And in your categories section, you want to make sure that track classes and track locations is turned on. Either it'll say on or you'll have little buttons that may appear green. That means it's turned on. If they're turned off, click your pencil icon. And again, here's the green button. If it's off, just click that button to turn it on. Same with track locations. So we want both of these green right here. You have the ability to select a location label as indicated in this screen. So under your locations that are turned on, the location label from that drop down, you want to select property. Then you're going to click the Save button. Again, just double check that both of those are turned on. Then you're going to hit the green Done button in the bottom right-hand corner. So next we need to set up Larry's properties. And we're going to take steps to add Texas and California as the two properties that we will be tracking. So again, we want to go back up to our gear icon. This time under the list section, we're going to select all lists. And your choices from the book may be a little bit different here. The book tells us to select properties. This has actually been updated to locations. So in order for this to show, your locations, your class tracking and locations properties have to be turned on, what we just did in those previous steps. So if it's not shown here, go back and make sure those previous steps saved, and then open this screen back up. So we're going to click on locations, and it tells us that we are using 0 classes and 0 locations of 40 total that are included in our plan. If we were to sign up for the QuickBooks Online Advanced subscription, then we would have unlimited classes and properties. All right, so from here, we're going to click the green New button in the top right-hand corner. And we want to add our California properties as shown in the book. So we're going to name this California properties. When setting up properties, you have the ability to create sub-properties. For example, let's say you own an apartment building and you want to keep track of income and expenses for each apartment. You would add the apartment building as the main property, and then each apartment would be added as a sub-property. You also have the ability to enter new contact information for each property, including address, email address, and telephone number. Larry's properties have the same mailing address, telephone number, and email address, so there is no need to make these selections. So to save our California properties, we're going to click our Save button. And you can see now California properties is now listed under our locations list. And we want to repeat these steps to add Texas properties. So again, we're going to go back up to our New button. This time we're going to enter Texas properties. Go ahead and click Save. And now we have our two listed under name, California and Texas. And as you can see, QuickBooks Online has updated the number of properties to 2 out of 40, which means an additional 38 classes and/or properties can be added.